welcome to this Lionsgate Energies transmission. Before I even begin, I'm just setting the grids, clearing the comment section, prepping the comment section for soulful interactions, prepping the space for soulful tune-ins to the energies. I'm being shown prepping the space for this live session and in the replay. My guides are showing me this They're asking you all to soften yourselves. They're asking you all to allow tenderness in the chest space, in the heart space. They're showing me the front of the heart space and the back of the heart space. So I'm going to tune into what that is. Today's going to be a little bit of a different session than normal because I'm just basically going to be channeling, and we're going to get curious with the guides. That's the intention for today. So if you're feeling these Lionsgate energies and you have for, let's say, years, or maybe this is, for some of you, it's the first year that you even are aware of Lionsgate. It's not saying the first year that you, hello Pat, I'm not saying it's the first year you would have received these energies, but this might be the first year that you're conscious of the energies. Interesting. So they're showing me that the Lionsgate is really the portal. This is fun. So they showed me a little bit ago, and I shared it with all of you, this image of baby dragons. They're showing it to me again. These baby dragons, they're all kind of standing in a line and they're running together like a race, but they're not racing. And they're running and then they're flying for the first time. They're like flying. They're showing the Lionsgate portal. They're saying allow us the opening for our wings. They're also showing me Enki and Enlil right now, which is very complex. But they're showing me that, I see what they're showing me. They want me to talk about this. So they're saying, I don't know much about these two individuals historically, so I'm only going to be sharing what's channeling through me, and some of it I don't really get already that they're showing me. I don't really know what they're talking about. So we're going to be in this together as we're receiving it. Okay. They're showing me Enki and Enlil are these two beings that we know of on the planet and we sense on the planet. They're showing Enki and Enlil were sort of the first figures to, they're saying, represent duality consciousness in a way that couldn't exist simultaneously. Okay. And they're saying, Enki really believed in humanity. He believed in the potential of humanity. And then they're showing me Enlil didn't. Enlil thought humans were innately bad. Okay? And they're showing me, I don't really know, again, I don't know much about these two individuals, but they're showing me they were siblings. They were siblings that were at odds. They did not see eye to eye. They were playing the ping pong games of ping pong games, if you know what I'm saying. They both held very different beliefs. Okay, so they're saying Enlil believed that humanity could hold, what they're saying is hold angelic frequencies. And they're saying Enlil saw humans holding angelic frequencies and doing harm with it. So Enlil was like, no, we're not going to let humans do this. And Enki was like, we can, let's give them a chance. I have to read up on these. I have to read up on this about this afterwards, because wow. So they're just showing me that this is very present on the earth right now. They want you to question right now which of these energies you believe in more. Do you believe more in that humanity can use their spiritual gifts for the highest good of all? Or do you believe that when humanity wakes up to their spiritual gifts, they're going to like destroy each other? Because they're showing me that these two belief systems are at play on the planet right now, and they're sort of in combat with one another. So what they're asking us to do in the Lionsgate is ask ourselves what to learn from both of these energies. They're saying don't pick one. We're not asking you to pick one. We're asking you to see that they both had reasons for their beliefs. So you might have reasons to believe that humanity can't handle it. You might have reasons to believe that humanity can. Once they wake up fully, wouldn't they only use it for good? So Anki would say yes, and Lil would say no. So basically, Anki would say yes. Yeah. Anki would have this sort of, I'll say, perception that that's all that can be done with it, is that they wake up and then they embody their soul, right? But and Lil was saying no. And Lil was saying, no, look at how bad man is. Yin and yang, yep. One of the forms of yin and yang that's come through this planet. The way we've designed it, no full access to gifting without doing the work. So, right, in part. So what they're saying is the fall. We all know about the fall. We'll talk about this in this. They're saying placate. I don't really know what that means. We'll talk about that in this placate, that the last fall was Atlantis. So it's what they're saying is we don't want to. What they're saying about the fall in particular is that we don't want to place blame too much. This was all written. They're saying something about our timeline and predestined. So what they're saying is that Atlantis fell and it was a predestined. I've never heard it this way. I have so many questions. But they're saying it was a predestined fall. They're saying it's the gift we gave ourselves. Yeah, they want us to see it that way. It's the gift we gave ourselves. And they're also saying the fall of Atlantis, in part at least, was in Lil's perception. So it was, and Lil was saying, told you so. But they're saying that with great power comes great responsibility. If we open our gifts, if we awaken, if we allow ourselves to remember, but we're not going to be responsible with that information, it can go topsy-turvy. It can, it's not all love and light. In spirit, yes. On earth, no. So I'm just asking them why they're sharing this, because this is definitely the High Council of Light. They're sitting at a circular table. It's got one half the table. This is how they're showing it to me. I'm a clairvoyant. This is how I'm seeing it. I don't know why I see the things I see. I don't like say, hey, show me this. It's just they show. So they're showing me a circular table, and they're showing me one half the table is like the High Council of Light. The other half of the table is the Akashic Records keepers. And they're saying these are both important. Okay, now they're showing me, this is funny. They're saying that if we're to tune into this circular table, and we have half the table as the High Council of Light and half the table as the Akashic Records keepers, we're not saying Anki is representing the High Council of Light and Enlil's representing the Akashic Records keepers. That's not what they're saying, but they're saying that functionality is what they want us to tune into. The High Council of Light is the highest dimensional frequency version of us and our soul, of our oversoul pillar. So that's, totally enlightened us. That's the version of us that's not even really that interested in coming into a physical body. It's just spirit. And then they're showing the Akashic Records is sort of at least the aspect of the Akashic Records that I utilize and function within in my higher self consciousness, which is shown to me, felt by me, experienced by me as a seventh dimensional frequency state. They're showing me the Akashic Records, part of its function is, at least in the seventh dimension, is to assist in evolution and assist in planetary ascension. So this is the function that's sort of aware, I'll say, of darkness and light, aware of its functionality, able to assist, able to also record. That's one of their main functionalities, is to record everything. Everything is recorded. Nothing is, you think Atlantis fell and now everything from Atlantis is gone. Oh, no, it's not. It's all completely available. We can access anything we want from that time period and from that, the version of it that is still existing through the way of the Akashic Records. But they're asking us to just consider for a second that we sort of need these two components to ourself on planet Earth. I talked about this before, channeled about this before. They're saying this is another lens on it. When we become aware of the collective consciousness veils, I think this was last week that we talked about this. When we sense the collective consciousness veils, we're not saying, oh, I want to control, alt, delete that, and then pretend like it never existed and no one else is walking around with that collective consciousness veil. What we have the ability, that's kind of like the Enlil aspect. And then the Anki aspect is the aspect that says they can do either one with this. So to be on the earth plane, we're getting very skilled at the ability to see the shaping and the belief systems that are at play in the collective consciousness. It's very valuable that we be able to do that, but we're also seeing beyond it. And then we're also having grace and reverence for the beings on planet Earth that will typically be the majority, at least until, again, the Great Flash, which they always say this, and I can't get over it. Back into the channel. Okay. They're saying we're here to be the way showers. We're here to have grace and reverence for the people that can't see beyond that veil yet. So we're going to basically be assisting those who can't see beyond those collective consciousness veils to feel safe in their belief system. So if we basically present to someone with all Anki energy, if we present to someone with all Enlil energy, neither one of those is going to be successful. We have to come with the ability to see through those lenses. This is so wild. Because we have to hold, what they're saying is we have to hold space for the version of the other person that we're serving or the group that we're serving. We have to hold space and acceptance for what their belief system currently is. If we don't show them that we have acceptance of where they currently are, they're not going to feel safe enough to go beyond where they currently are. So they're asking us to be really cognizant of the people in our life that present in our life or show up in our life, and we see them as asleep. Well, if we do that, we're looking at them like we're Enlil. We're saying you can only do bad, so don't awaken. This is really complex. They're also showing me Isis and Osiris. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. They're saying that the reason that we tune into things like the Adam and Eve story is because that's really what it's like to come be a human. We need to experience the male, that's not the wrong word. Okay, we need to experience the masculine and feminine aspects of life equally. If we don't, we're never going to be able to create an earth. We're not going to be able to extend the population. If it's like, so what they're saying is the primordial types of energies of in the way of masculine and feminine were much more pure. It took time. They're saying it took time to get as distorted as you see it today on planet Earth. It took time. Like, it took time for misogyny to build. It took time for sexism to build. It took time for racism to build and form. It didn't start that way. Yeah, that makes sense. And they're showing me those are the types of energies that are like split end energies. They're kind of not helpful because they're not attached to their original essence. They're a split off version of it that's denying whole other aspects of itself. So, because everyone is, we are sharing a oneness consciousness, and to look at another like they're separate from us isn't really super helpful. We have to be able to see one another and respect one another as souls, as sovereign beings, sovereign divine beings. I also have the dragons and the angels, which are coming in, and they're going to be, I'm going to be pulling some cards in a second. Okay, but before I do, wow. Yep, duality, unity. Yep. So does anyone have any questions on what I just channeled in? Because I have a lot of questions on what I just channeled in. I'll probably do that in a separate session and upload it in the Energy Healing membership for all of you. Because, wow, you get it. Good. Good. They're also showing me something like Yeshua. So Yeshua, oh, Yeshua, that's funny. They're showing me this like special ability of us to be able to see the illusionary state within a being and beyond it at the same time. So what Yeshua could do for souls on the planet that were existing when he was existing was in a body was those people that were like quote unquote sick and had all these issues and blah 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 blah, family and spirit, yes. Those people were so used to being seen only for their ailment. Those people were used to being seen. I'm seeing like leprosy, which was a big thing that some of you are aware of. But they started to be, and they're saying people on Earth are doing this right now. So that are identified only with their ADHD, identified only with their ailments, identified only with what they're judging themselves for, that are operating basically within a very, very negative, low frequency, low dense, it's high density, but it's, what they're showing me is that those people that are operating like thinking that their sickness or their whatever is all they are, the gift you're going to be able to offer, similar to the gift that Yeshua was able to offer, was you're going to see them for beyond that. So you're going to be able to both see, I see this affliction, this ailment that you're experiencing, and I see that you're a sovereign divine being. I know you will overcome this. I know you will heal this. And so his knowledge, his complete ability to know this is a sovereign divine being, this is a soul that has the ability 100% to heal themselves. He basically lent his belief to them and believed it so powerfully that his field alone, and Mary Magdalene, their fields alone would go into a space and dissolve the illusions. So that's why, we want to think of it as this like magical alchemy, like they waved a magic wand and people walked out healed and they put their hand on them and boom, and all this like, stuff that we think is really like that. It's deeper. It's their presence, their energy field alone gave the other energy fields abilities to see beyond just I am sick, or I am messed up, or I am not worthy, or I am ugly, or I am rejected, or whatever it was for them. The presence of these beings alone would heal it. Four. Okay, so this is going to be kind of a message where we're focused on unity and oneness while seeing through this lens that we currently operate on that can share with the collective consciousness and see duality. So if we're like oneness, love and light, and everything's perfect, and da 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 da, are we going to be able to do anything about the atrocities that are happening on the planet? No, because we're going to be pretending they don't exist. Okay, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be the Anki message. This is so funny today. Yeah, but we don't want to do that, Larry. Larry, I feel the need to kind of warn you that I might need to block you. I don't want to. I really don't. But just giving you a warning because I like to do that first. We got to keep this message really able to anchor because it's an important one. Yeah, and I'm not asking any of you to go strictly into student mode when you're here. That's not my request. We're students and teachers at the same time, always here. It's really important that we keep those functionalities available. Okay, so some of you might want to we're all learning here together. Welcome. You might want to rub some of you like your lower back. I'm showing like the lumbar area or the snow mountain region of the energy field. Some of you might be releasing a lot in this session. So a lot of stuff that was holding you back. The stuff that sits in the back of the field is the stuff that's past related. The stuff that sits in the front of the field is future related. So it's when we're tuning into the chakras, this is like a little sidebar channeling before I get into the cards. If it's the back of the body that's triggering you to look at something that's going on in the past. If it's the front of the body that's causing the sensation of whatever, it's usually about the future. So we're kind of talking about like depression, anxiety. So when we're in the depression, it's because like we're pretty much living in the past. When we're in anxiety, we're pretty much living in the future. So the solution to both is always to come into the now moment. So my kids are getting really loud. I'm going to just be a sloth for a second and just slow down a bit. Okay. So we're going to do some release in that area. This Lionsgate's a beautiful portal for you to release that, to heal it once and for all. And to consider what cords may need to be cut. I'm not talking cut people out of your life, but cut the toxicity. Love never goes away. So just know that, we can get into distortion and stuff here, but if there's love at the core of any relationship, it will stay, no matter how many times you try to slice it off. So the first one we get, of course, Archangel Zadkiel. It's time for transmutation and carry the violet flame. A lot of you ask me this question so often. What do I do about the distortionary energies? What about the energies that I see in my life that I can sense as toxic or dark or whatever this is for you? When you sense that at play, you need to call on that violet flame. This is where the Anki and Lil can kind of come together and be like, okay, well, this is a solution we can both agree upon. Because we're not denying that it exists. And yet, because we're sovereign divine beings, we know that we have the alchemical ability to bring the energy that which is needed, no matter what's presenting to us. No matter if it's someone that's walking up to us with leprosy, or someone that's walking up to us and they have this diagnosis that it's the end and they've been told it by everyone. No matter who's walking up to us, we're not going to be in fear. Like, oh no, what if I catch this? Oh no, what if I catch their depression? Oh no, what if I catch their anxiety? No, we can bring in the violet flame. Emit it from your chakras. Emit it from your eyes. Let the violet flame saturate everything, and then that way everything that was buried, that was love and soulful expression and compassion and creativity and passion and enlightenment, all that was just untapped resources in that person's field, can now light back up again. But we're not going to be able to help someone if we deny their darkness, if we pretend it doesn't exist. So some of you might have seen my reel from this morning. If you didn't, you might want to watch it after this. But, okay, so I'm not going to share his name. But there's someone that is teaching about astral travel, and I really liked his content. But there was something I saw the other day that I didn't see before. And it has to do with spiritual gifts. We all have spiritual gifts. Every single one of you does. All 38 of you do. You all have spiritual gifts. If we don't tend to our wounds, if we don't give them the attention, the affection, the love they need, and we open our spiritual gifts. Tune into that for a second. All those unhealed relationships, all those unhealed wounds, and you open up your spiritual gifts, you're going to get, we're going to take them down with these cool gifts we have, and we're going to take them out of their body because we can, and we're going to infringe upon free will. Nay. No. We have to heal our own wounds so that when our gifts come online, we're using them for all. Your gifts aren't there to get back at the people that did you wrong. Your gifts aren't there to paint a past of yours that didn't exist. So this is what I witnessed in that other individual, is he was painting his past. And I've had lots of clients tell me similar versions of this. You know, maybe you have a parent that didn't give you the love you wanted, and you want to imagine that version where they did. You're not necessarily doing the healing there. What you're healing is an alternate reality. So what I would guide you more towards is if you had that dynamic, let's say you grew up and you realized that your caregivers messed you up and stuff, okay? Or didn't give you love, they couldn't give you love. I would much prefer in my healing modalities for you to better understand those caregivers to why they were even like that, instead of create a new version of them that didn't really exist. I hope that my message right now is coming through clearly because I'm saying a lot without saying a lot. Yeah. So it's okay for us to go back and give that inner child the love they needed and say, I'm here for you. I'm listening. You know, I see how you were treated. I'm here. I'm going to hold you. Will you cry or will you do that, finish that acting skit you were just doing or that dance or that painting or whatever it is for you. You know, it's okay for you to go back and give that inner child love. But if we're only healing by telling ourselves lies, I don't believe the healing will last. I feel it'll come up in a partner, it'll come up in a friend, it'll come up in a something until we've really done the healing. That's been one of the most healing things for me, seeing my parents as who they are, right? And recognizing how we are one, right? So it's think about too like what you're doing for those souls that were the caregivers, okay, or that are the caregivers. You're seeing them and you're not saying, "Hi, I wanted you to be a different person." You're saying, I love you, and now that I'm an adult, I can see how messed up your upbringing was. And I did want, and this is something that you might want to do via automatic writing with the people that are in or out of your life, but process the feelings, the emotionality of it, because that's the emotional body is the way that the soul communicates with the physical body. Ooh, I want to say that again because I've said that before, but I want to capture it. So the emotional body is the interface. They're saying the interface, the calling card, it's the cell phone, okay? Between your soul, or we won't say your soul. We'll say your higher self, because your soul's right here, okay? But your higher self and your physical body. The emotional body is what is like allowing for transference between the two. That's why, you know, a lot of like injuries and things like that, I typically see them as psychosomatic because like the emotional body is trying to tell the physical body something from the soul. If the body or the consciousness is saying, no, I don't want to deal with that, I'm going to deny that, well, then the soul is going to keep trying and eventually it might result in an injury, result in a, you know, and I'm not saying all of it is this because we've got 8 billion plus souls walking around with free will. It's not all cut and dry. Healing without presence means not moving forward. Is that the idea? Healing without presence means not. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one way to put it, Rick. 100%. Again, it's like that's another lens into it of this idea. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And then the fourth card with the dragon. Interesting. This is so reverse. I would think this is the almost this felt like the Enlil message, and this feels like the Enki message, even though they originally said it was opposite. Okay, so Emerald Dragon, this has been coming into the picture a lot. I'm going to read the words first so I can speak in English, because when the dragons come through, hello Mel, the dragons come through, I usually speak light language, so that's coming. I can feel it. It's loading up. If you want to receive the light language that's going to come through in the session, just say yes at any time. Also remember, we're working with brainwave states. So, okay, I'm going to put this up while I share this. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, so much is clicking together after what they're showing me. Okay. Oh, those of you that are really familiar with brainwave states, this is going to be juicy. Simmer down now, simmer down now, simmer down now. Okay. Delta. So we're going to talk about delta brainwaves. When you're in delta REM, when you're in delta brainwaves, you're pretty much operating in your astral body, your dream state. Which is why if you're only doing that layer, you're not going to affect your conscious state. Okay, now theta brainwaves. Theta brainwaves are really important for you all to understand right now, and I'm going to give you a little something that's going to stick with you the rest of your life. Please use it operably. When you first wake up from sleep, that's theta brainwaves, like a child's brainwaves. Theta brainwaves. And those theta brainwaves are open, they're conducive, they're childlike, they're explorative, they're juicy. They're juicy, okay? Now, gamma brainwaves. Gamma brainwaves are where you have an aha moment. So when you're in gamma, you're conscious, your brainwaves are moving a little faster, and you're able to have an aha. So, and I'm not picking on this individual at all, but it's just a reference point. If we're focused on astral travel and we're like, this is going to heal me everywhere, okay? We're healing in the delta brainwaves. We're not going to be healing in theta, gamma, alpha. So it'll feel good like when we're astral traveling, but when we get back into our reality, it's all going to feel like chaos. Because we need to have healing on all of these different layers. This is also dealing with your dimensional bodies, believe it or not. It makes so much sense. My brain is doing a happy dance because it's understanding what the spiritual stuff is. My brain doesn't always get the spiritual stuff. My brain's sometimes I still don't understand how this makes any freaking sense. But now my brain's you're speaking in my language, so let's go. So basically the way I'm sharing that is because you're going to have when you come to these sessions, do give this page a follow and show up to these. I show up a lot free. I'm here to give to all. I'm here to share my gifts with all. Do I need to also keep a roof over my head? And that's why I charge money for my memberships and one-to-ones? Yes. But my goal is to serve all. Which makes it a little tricky for business making. But, so, the Emerald Dragon's coming in. Okay, let me get this one. Bring in healing and cosmic abundance. Good fortune is coming. Let your thoughts support your divine perfection. That sentence alone. Okay. Let your thoughts support your divine perfection. In our healing processes and our rewiring processes and looking at the frameworks, looking at the mental body, examining and being careful and delicate with the ego, we're retraining our thoughts. We're realigning our thoughts with our soul, our higher self-consciousness with source. Align with your fifth dimensional blueprint. So then we're aligning with our fifth dimensional blueprint, our ability to see from this quantum viewer in a way that's heart coherent. So again, if we're only working with the brain, the mental programming, probably not going to get there. If we're only working with the emotions, probably not going to get there. If we're only working with spirit and our channeling and when we're out of body, probably not going to get there. If we blend it all, sovereignty. Being able to see through fifth dimensional eyes without the need for putting a veil over those that are operating under a veil. So we're not doing this thing where we're going to pretend all the people that are seeing through limitation don't exist, or we're going to call them all NPCs. Oh, that's a big pet peeve of mine. No, everyone's a soul. It's main character energy at the same time of knowing that everyone has main character energy. Okay? There aren't puppets in this. There are puppets. Okay. Man, it's all a paradox. It's all such a paradox. It's so funny that it's such a paradox. The fourth dimension, so the fourth dimension to me is just darkness and light. It's also time. The fourth dimension's time as well. But there is time in fifth dimension. It's, we shall try in these human bodies to understand it. And every once in a while we'll understand a crumb, and that's cool. Okay? My guides are being really funny through me today. It's like making me a little, I don't know, happy. I'm letting some Palo Santo because we really just did so much bridging. I saw these, okay, some of you haven't heard this from me before, but when we first start on the transmission, I can see like the pillars of light. That's how it starts for me. I get the image of the pillars of light, then I see the chakra systems. But they're showing me that all of your pillars of light have been like cleansed so that they're not, they were showing me like kind of this like these distortionary patterns that I would say start in the root and then kind of go up. A lot of you have been doing so much healing work that I'll say this version of you, I'll say the Enlil version of you that's like, see, everybody's terrible. Crawls up, starts at the root chakra as fear, and then moves to the sacral as guilt and shame, and then moves to the solar as doubt and insecurity, and then moves to the heart as betrayal. Whew, that was fun. Just asking all the guides to sit down, and they're doing the thing again where they just won't. So, all right, I'm gonna light this one more time. I just love the smell of Palo Santo. It's like instant. Oh, thank you. Look, I'm a fairy princess. If I still had it on, I wish I would have been like leaving it on or something really ridiculous like that. So they're telling me about the third eye in general, that the fear won't... Okay, so imagine as a child, your third eye's pretty open. Yep, it's true. Not just the golden children after 2012, all of us. The fear doesn't start in the third eye. The fear starts in the root. They're saying always. So imagine that. So that's why we do so much. Let's go to the inner child. Let's go to the... Okay, so some of you don't know this either. The chakras are programmed throughout your life. So the root chakra, 0 to 7, sacral chakra, 7 to 14, solar plexus, 14 to 21. That's when they're getting programmed and, what are we going to be operating with here? Okay, what are we going to be operating with here? What was wrong of you to say? Oh, not wrong of you to say. Just, I thought you were right too, Paul. And then my guide showed me like the way that fear works. So basically, like, we're not gonna... That's why one of the things I'm always going to be guiding you all towards when a lot of people ask me, how do I open my third eye? How do I open my third eye? How do I open my third eye? And it's good to, I mean, I'm not saying don't open your third eye, but if you open your third eye and your root chakra is still full of fear, guess what's going to be feeding up to that third eye is like a lot of fear. So, same thing with the other things I talked about, like guilt and shame and insecurity and doubt and things like that. If we open the third eye but we haven't attended to the lower chakras, it can lead to psychosis. I won't lie to you. I won't pretend that this stuff doesn't happen in the world. We have to attend to all the chakras. And they're also saying, like, if we open the third eye and we're not tending to the root, we're going to be functioning a lot like in Lil. Not to hate on any of these beings, you know, at all. That's not the point. What ways do you work with the betrayal? Okay. You mentioned in the heart. Okay. Oh gosh, I've worked through so much betrayal. Do I have any left? Do I have any? Let me get the guides for that. Okay. So if any of you are working with betrayal, we're going to do a little energy session on it, a little channeling on it. They want me to be really specific with my positioning right now to bring through this channel, so I shall, because here in this human body, I'm definitely a student. Definitely a student. I'm not going to say I perfected the earthing thing yet. Pretty good in the angelic realm and the Pleiades and stuff, but Earth feels very new. Okay. Yes and no. Okay, so when it comes to betrayal, they're saying forgiveness work is always required. So it's going back to that thing I was talking about earlier with like wanting to repaint our childhood. When we as a soul can recognize why we were betrayed, we can heal it, forgive it, and then not create that little tiny pocket within us that might attract it again. So betrayal will basically, they're saying, introduce you to keeping your heart open amidst darkness. So, okay, so they're saying there's a big difference between betrayal and my kids are talking, so I'm like losing the channel. Okay. There's a difference between betrayal and repetitive betrayal. That's what they're saying. They're saying in this moment we're being pointed to healing the root betrayal. And they're saying the root betrayal is, this is so tricky and complex. Wow. They're saying the root betrayal is usually us betraying ourselves in some way. So they're saying if we can get to the root betrayal and heal that first, we'll be able to heal, they're saying, the betrayee. And they're also saying this doesn't mean to say that you attracted the betrayal. But they're saying that with their difference here. So like they're saying betrayal versus repetitive betrayal. They're saying if it's it's like a fool me once, shame on me, or shame on, you know what I'm saying, the fool me once, fool me twice thing. So they're saying that if it's a one-time betrayal, then we're welcomed to Ho'oponopono and forgiveness. If it's repeat betrayal, we're more guided to finding that root betrayal within ourselves. Because if we continue to have the betrayal experiences, then they're showing me that that just is pointing us to heal the original wound. So, and then also like as souls, our original wound is separation. Not as souls. Okay, wait, as humans. Okay. As humans, when we come here to be humans, like the first thing to heal is that like you're separate from God. Like that's the thing that's like taught here. It's like kind of going to be your foundational wound. But then there's like wounds that can spur from there up the chakra system. So when we get to something like the heart and there's something like betrayal, it's like a more mature healing process, because we're going to have the elevation, the wherewithal, the viewpoint and perspective, the multi-layered, multi-dimensional perspective to heal without incorporating any type of blame, any type of shame, any type of, shame on you, it was your fault type of thing. I hope that what I'm saying is landing, because I don't really understand a lot of it. I don't really experience the betrayal thing too much. So I hope that that was helpful. But I will say that when I did heal my own betrayal thing, I got to the beginning of my betrayal and I realized it was like when I was denying myself. Like when I wasn't just saying no when it was a no and yes when it was a yes. Yes. Right. Jess, so you're pointing to a really, really big thing. So let's go back to that inner child healing thing that I talked about like throughout the session. If we go back to the inner child and we pretend the parent was validating us. This is really deep, you guys. I hope you're all ready for it. This is really deep. If we're just giving us the pretend that we received validation from someone that we actually didn't, we're not healing ourselves. We're not helping ourselves. We're playing pretend, and that's not really why we came here. So, I mean, validation's a tough one because okay, they're telling me that when we come to planet Earth, it's very deep. I know. I didn't think we were going to do this layered of healing, but here we are. I'm going to hold some of this green adventurine. Okay. Yeah, a lot of you did a lot of... I'm seeing wings. I'm seeing a lot of your wings. Okay. Oh, I need some water. I'm going to pound this. I'm going to pound this water so good. Oh, love and light. Balancing of darkness and light. Soulful embodiment. Okay. Drinking out of a Christmas glass. I don't know. My kitchen's such a mess right now. It's fine. Bree. Virgo Bree. Okay. So I'm a multidimensional being. You can see it. They're wanting us all to give ourselves a hug. So give yourself a hug. We just did some really major healing in this session. Really major healing. They're also saying things like, we're not going to get too... They're showing me the chakras again, and like how, Paul, you mentioned, like, there can be fear in the third eye. Like, there can be fear in any of the chakras. It's just what they were guiding us to here was getting to the root. I mean, that's really what they're always guiding us to is let's get to the root. And then let's notice the times that when, if we're doing something with the intentional energy of I just want to receive validation, we're like super third dimensional. But if we're fifth dimensional, like we're pretty self-validated. We're already validated, and something like validation is going to seem almost silly. Like, why? When we're fifth dimensional, validation is really ridiculous because we see everything as us. It's unity. So it's like, why would anyone need validation? So again, it's like the third dimension's the only place where we'll want validation because we see I am a 0 and that's a 1 and what's happening, and I need the 1 to tell me I'm a 0 so that I know I'm a 0, and I need... That was complex. Okay. They're also showing me 0s and 1s a lot, like raining them down into the space. They won't stop raining the 0s and 1s. Hold on. Yes, we're kind of pointing at simulation theory. They're saying in Hermetics, when we learn the first principle of Hermetics, which is all is mind, it's what puts us back in the driver's seat. Yep. So they're saying things like Hermetics are really helpful on planet Earth. Are they going to help you completely with your ascension? They'll be supportive. They'll be foundational for you to experience your ascension. But again, we're never getting too glued or fixated onto any one modality or one set belief system because we're staying very flexible, present, meeting everyone where they are so that we're not inflicting where we want them to be. Instead, we're seeing them where they are. All right. I think this is coming to a close. This was really, really wild. I'm a little shook. I think part of it has to do with this grid. So I set this, there's this crystal grid. I've been hearing a lot about hermetics. It keeps coming up. I don't know what that is yet. Oh, it's time then, Heather. Yeah, it's time for some hermetic. It's going to click things together for you. You might as well, you also, Heather, you might want to look into Toth in specific. He'll help you. You good, girl? My sister and my cousin helped me lead up to Jesus Christ. So remember, Jesus taught us that we all have a Christ within. Is there a way to stay in fifth dimensional mind and less third without daily meditation? Neutrality. Ring of Inclusion. You also might want to read the book, The Emerald Tablets, to learn about the Ring of Inclusion. Because, again, we're not creating this, we're not seeing 5D like over what 3D is. We're having the ability to see both and then find the middle way. Thank you. Oh, that's my book. There's a few typos in it. It's not perfect. It's the introduction to my channeling gift. I'll be right back. It's not perfect. It's the introduction to my channeling gift. I'll be right back. I'm back. I'm not going to leave you all hanging. But I probably did just skip a bit, because that's what happens when it kicks me out. Exactly what I think a 4K and 5K multidimensional TV looks like. We have no reason to need TV in the fourth or fifth dimension, but yes, I see what you're saying. No way you just said that. You just brought the emerald tablets. You just bought the emerald. Stop it. See how cool Spirit is? See how cool? Okay. See how cool? If we allow it, if we allow the magic to be there, to see how it's there? This is the version of it that I have. It's Danielle Rama Hoffman. But Toth is fully available to like all of us. Like we all can work with this being. That's why he made the emerald tablets. And it's unity consciousness. This is really where we're at on the planet right now, where we're going to. You'll feel it. You'll feel it. Oh, you have the one by Billy Carson. I haven't read that one yet, but I love Billy Carson. I really do. I appreciate him very much. I still have some questions, so I don't really understand what happened. I was really rooting for him and his wife. I was sad, kind of, to find out that they split. Okay, let me just get my bearings. Going to Toth and the Emerald Tablets and Billy Carson. Wow, oof. I could go for hours now. Okay, any suggestions on how I can best utilize where I'm at today? Okay. Accept it. Accept it. Some people think he's been replaced. I don't think he's been replaced. But I do sense something maybe about, oh gosh. I haven't tuned into it in specific, but I think it was more on the other end, if you know what I'm saying. I love that. So, Pinky Dragonfly sharing, reading the Emerald Tablets. You have to read every page 3 times to understand it 100%. And you're going to see something new every single time. It's because it's a living, breathing transmission of light. That's why it's going to activate different parts of you, different parts of your consciousness each time. It's going to meet you where you are. That's why, like, all the good things meet you where you are. They're not going to say, I want you to be this way, not that way. Even though sometimes me and my human, I do that a little bit. You know, you'll see me doing it because I'm a human. You know, I'm not. Yeah, he has a bit of a tragic story depending on your perspective. Yeah, I agree. And it's not my job to see anyone's personal life. That's definitely not my role. Okay. Okay, Heather, I'm hearing. Okay, I'm piecing together some of the later comments with what's going on here. Okay. I'm gonna bring through a channeled message on that. Yeah, it's because it's channeled. Raven, you changed your name here. Saravan? Am I saying that right? Okay, wait, I want to read. I want to help Heather really quick because she's always so loving and showing up here really authentically. Okay. So I'm not going to read the specific statement out loud, but Heather, I'm going to speak to you on this. Okay. Oh, I'm getting tingling in my fingers. Okay. I see what's going on. So since I love you so much, Heather, and I feel like you're like just someone I really know and resonate with here on the earth plane, your guides are kind of sharing some things with me, and they're not showing me everything on purpose, but they're saying you're healing your heart. Right now, you're healing your heart, and you're doing it so beautifully. Yes, it's spirit and the trees and crows. Yes. Could also be your guidance teams. But what the guides are saying is if you've just recently experienced a major life change and you're amidst the start of the major life change and you're questioning the major life change, I'm going to let my guides come through fully through me on this. If you resonate with that, you're being welcomed to embrace the moment. If it feels like collapse, let it feel like collapse. If it feels like you're cracked open, let yourself be cracked open. You don't need to provide the embodiment of something you think you need to be to others. You're being guided to your yoke. You're being guided within. This is a time when you're not focused on the shell, you're focused on the yoke. A full foundational rebuild. Who are you now? Now that you have room to heal, who are you? I'm saying a lot without saying a lot right now through my energy field. I want you all to just notice that your guides are all around you, supporting you, holding the space, allowing you to process clearly. They're reminding you of the ring of inclusion, that you're safe to experience the ring of inclusion. It may take time to cleanse what is not you. It may take time to cleanse separation consciousness. It may take time to cleanse betrayal. It may take time to cleanse grief, to process grief. Give yourself the time. Let yourself be in the cocoon period for as long as you need. There's no need to burst. They're saying they're showing me not just you, Heather, but others here as well that are deeply resonating with this portion of the transmission. There's a value to that cocoon period. There's a value to the chrysalis. There's a sincere, irreplaceable, undeniable value to that period. So they're showing me that when we're in that period, we can get the sensation that we either want to go back to before we even decided to metamorphosize. We might want to go back to being a caterpillar, or we might want to force the next step of being a butterfly. But they're saying, embrace the moment. Bradley, if you're still here, you asked earlier, how sometimes those days that you feel like everything is in chaos or you feel like everything's going wrong, like how do you embrace that? Like, what, you're telling me to bring this into my ring of inclusion? And yes, can you be with the uncomfortable? Can you just be with it? Can you accept it? And that's like where everything starts to open up. So allow yourself to feel powerful. Allow yourself to, the ring of inclusion. I have imposter syndrome about this because Toth does it so well. And Billy Carson probably does it really well too. And so does Danielle Rama Hoffman. But I'll try. I'll try. And then I'll end it. I'll use this example. And some of you that are going to read the book soon, I might be spoiling a little piece of it, but allow it to be alive for you when you read it. So with the ring of inclusion, they want you to all tune into, I've got Toth kind of guiding me to guide you through it. This is a longer one. This is going to be like a full workshop. That's what I'm going to call it afterwards in the Energy Healing membership. They're saying, imagine right now that you are in orange. You're an orange. Tune in with me energetically. You're an orange. Now you see an apple. And you're like, that apple looks so good. I want to be that apple. And now you're trying to be that apple and not realizing you're an orange. And they're saying the ring of inclusion helps you realize that everything at play in your reality has a function. It's there for a reason. It's there to teach you something. It's there to embody something. So instead of living our life like we're searching for the needle in the haystack, which a lot of us do when we enter separation consciousness, we're learning to unify the field even when scary things present or betrayal presents. We're letting it all be its own fertilizer, its own quality of goodness. I also want to bring up that we have bugs in the world, okay? Bugs that are invasive and they like eat things up, or like animals that are invasive and they just like take things away. Everything in the universe, like if there's an overpopulation of something, something's going to show up to balance it out. And it's another reason to consider the ring of inclusion, because we might see things that are invasive or like destroying it. It's there for some reason. So let's, instead of trying to say let's eliminate it, what is it there for? Your cats are battling fleas right now. Okay. So it's the spirit is so impressive. Well, they're saying even mosquitoes, like everything has like a function. And so it's best instead that we go to things and like want to slice them out. Like, it's playing some role. What is that role? And then like once we discover what the role is, the issue kind of like poof, goes away. You've been stung by hornets 3 times in the last week. Wow. What an injection of life force energy trying to find you and get your attention. When something happens 3 times, it's a spirit sign. It is every single time. So I would really, Jay, I don't want to tune in too much because I'm like super wide out right now. But you might want to tune into like what the spirit message was. Like this is what to ask yourself about these sorts of things. What am I trying to tell myself? What message am I trying to communicate with myself? And then automatic write on it, okay? Or say God or Jesus or whoever you're believing to be in control of all that is. Stop putting foxes into the hen house. Right, so exactly. On the 3rd dimensional plane, like we have structures are there for a reason. Okay, so let me see. I'm seeing a bunch of birds at my window now, and they're like talking to me telepathically, but they're not chirping. Why aren't they chirping? Some of you that read the gene keys, this is the next piece of the puzzle. They're saying some of the... Is that even a gene key? I don't think I've ever read... I have to write this down. I don't know for sure because I don't think I've ever read it, but I think that there's a gene key called silence. At least that's what they're telling me. And they're asking if any of you have the gene keys to read it. Oh no, the birds definitely have codes. They got codes, Kaylee. I promise. Okay. Yeah. I think that's it for today. I have the gene keys in my Amazon cart. Perfect. Thank you, Josh. It's wild how things connect. It is. I don't think there's a day that I'm ever not like, there's like a moment of shock and awe and magic in every single one of my days. And there will be in yours as well if you start noticing it. Oh, good. Good, Jay. I hope that you all enjoyed this. It was way more deep than I had planned for, but one thing I commit to is just showing up and being a clear channel and just bringing through. That's the 24th gene key. Okay, cool. I think I have that in my hologenic profile too. So silence, if anyone that has the gene keys, you want to read that, really powerful because what I'm getting from it before reading it is that there's a lot that can be communicated without sound, and there's a lot that can be communicated with sound. Sound and light bring qualities with which are spiritual. There's so many channels like opening up right now, so I'm just going to close this out before I turn into a poof. I just poof on screen. I'm telling my guides like, okay, I've had enough for today. I need to process all the stuff you just shared with me. I love you all. This will be in the Energy Healing membership. And if you're not in there, it's $11 a month, and the first week is free. So if you're not sure and you're just like, I don't know, this was fun today, but is she worth my Netflix dollars per month? I don't know. Well, try a week and they're free. Experiment with the videos. See what they awaken in you. It's about you, waking up more of you in there. So, I love you all. Be sure to drink water and just embrace the spirit signs today. And embrace the intentions you have in your heart. They're there. Listen to them. All right, deep breath together. Namaste.